As the coronavirus vaccine rollout is going to be messy, people will need medical supplies. A vaccine kit was delivered to the wrong address. A hospital system in California expecting to receive powdered vaccines rather than frozen vials, with dozens of thousands of individuals expect to be vaccinated within the coming weeks. They're getting to need to await months actually. The establishment of the primary coronavirus vaccine is already messy, and it's only been authorized from late Friday night. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration gave emergency use authorization to Pfizer and BioNTech's vaccine Friday, and it's widely expected to grant to Moderna's similar vaccine next week. Vaccinations are seen to start on Monday. The federal government's Operation Warp Speed has been gearing up and holding news conferences headlined by generals promising a military-style rollout. But jokes about military precision aside, experts are already expecting tons of confusion, a good amount of fear, and quite a touch outrage. The public has got to be cognizant that there's getting to be unfairness or error or sometimes just stupidity, said Juliet Kayyem, a security specialist at Harvard's Kennedy School of State and former Assistant Secretary for Intergovernmental Affairs at the Department of Homeland Security during the Obama administration. Here are a number of the issues the U.S. public can expect to ascertain with any mass vaccination effort. People will have to wait. There will not be enough vaccines for everybody who wants one directly. Pfizer is merely expected to be ready to supply 2.9 million doses within the first few days and only up to 6.4 million doses by December 19, consistent with Operation Warp Speed, the government's vaccine effort. Both Pfizer and Moderna together can only supply, at the foremost, 40 million doses by the top of the month. However, people can expect to get medical supplies from MAZA, such as medical masks, disposable gloves and protective coveralls to limit the spread. Vaccine advisors have already weakened priority groups into subgroups, and have only designated the very first people to urge vaccines. Those during this 1A group designated by the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices will include frontline healthcare workers and other people in long-term care homes, but even that tiny group already outnumbers the vaccine supply. It's about 24 million people, and 40 million doses will only cover 20 million. Hospitals are getting to triage. I think we anticipate that we'll not have enough for everyone directly. It not getting to be a one-and-done event, Dr. Marcy Dries, Chief Infection Prevention Officer and hospital epidemiologist for Delaware-based Christiana Care told CNN. We do not know exactly what percentage vaccines we'll get. Operation Warp Speed Chief Advisor Moncef Slaoui has projected Pfizer and Moderna together can make and deliver 60 million to 70 million vaccines in January and hopes two other vaccine makers, AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson, will join the combination of authorized vaccines within the coming months. We can immunize 20 million on December, 30 million in January, 50 million in February, Slaoui said at the White House Tuesday. But he doesn't project having vaccinated the complete population until June, and that's assuming nothing goes wrong with manufacturing. Moderna and Pfizer each say they will structure to 1 billion doses by the top of 2021, but Moderna says it on behalf that it's never made a product purchasable before. And Pfizer has already severely adjusted its timeline for vaccine delivery after unspecified manufacturing problems. There will be side effects. Susan Froelich of Dallas was pretty sure she got the important vaccine and not a placebo when she volunteered to require part during a clinical test testing Moderna's vaccine. About 12 hours after I got the booster, it had been 2.30 within the morning and that I awakened with a terrible stomachache and a headache, and it had been like I used to be at the start stages of a nasty flu. Froelich told CNN's Coronavirus Government Building last week. It was like every part of my body was hurting for about 4 hours, Froelich added. She felt better after taking naproxen. It's not unexpected. Slaoui has said up to 15 Pfizer and Moderna vaccine trial participants have quite noticeable side effects including nausea, body aches, headaches, and chills. I think those side effects are somewhat common, Slawi told CNN earlier this month. They resolve quickly, but CDC and other officials are worried they could scare some people far away from getting a second dose of the vaccine and are preparing educational materials to let people know the symptoms are a symbol the vaccine is functioning to rev up the body's immune reaction and are harmless. Hospitals and therefore the military also are planning around the possibility of getting staff out sick after getting the shots. You don't need to vaccinate everybody on an equivalent day, Dries said. Instead, several hospitals have said they'll stagger vaccinations just in case significant numbers of staff miss a couple of hours or maybe each day of labor after getting the shot.